How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Come on, come on, come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Yes, we are the trending topic. Good relationship profits. Brunch with the boys, we the highest. Brunch with the
What's going on? It's your boy King Des here. Another episode of Brunch with the motherfucking boys. I'm so excited to be here this evening, guys. How we doing tonight?
Jeezy, we real good. Real good. Let's get it done.
Hey, it's Mr. Gent out cheers. It's sunny outside, man. It's all sunshines, baby. You know?
It's actually supposed to be a rainy night, but I hear you.
Where you at, Gent? The beach look a little mucky. You in Nevis?
Nah, you know this somewhere off the Gulf where the oil spill is at.
Water a little murky deep.
Yeah. Look like Nevis to me, but I ain't gonna say that. I'm trying to talk about Nevis out there. All right. What we getting into tonight?
So there was this TikTok that I saw, and the black girl got on there, and it was talking about cheating, why a man cheats. And she was like, man, it's funny how all these women, and we're going to put the TikTok up just so you can reference it.
Everybody talks about, I knew he was cheating and they looking for cheating, but how can you know he cheating, but you never knew he was unhappy with you? How?
So you're looking for those signs, but you're not looking for those signs.
Why do you look for what somebody's doing, but you don't know when they're not happy with you? Come on. I'm like,
is that being self-absorbed? You feel like maybe sometimes in relationships, women, because like you said, we know that we get everything just because we're women, so we expect it and we don't want to give the man anything.
Oh yes, women are self-absorbed and entitled, and I can say this because I've been doing this work for over 15 years. They believe because they have a vagina and pretty, that they, and a nice body, that they are entitled to being treated a certain way. However, have you ever seen a woman that's beautiful and she looks amazing, her body, everything is together, very smart, but those type of women always get left for more plain Janes?
Yeah,
women that
looking like you chose
Did you see what I was looking like? Because it had nothing to do with what she looked like and what she came to the table with. It was what she was being to him and how she made him feel in his presence.
How women talk about, I could sense he was cheating, and it's my intuition. And the hoe was like, damn, how come you could sense that, but you couldn't tell that nigga was unhappy for so long that led him to cheat, you know? So I thought it was really ideal that we talk about signs that your partner is unhappy in a relationship, because men and women, because we both cheat, you know, we get a bad name for cheating, and obviously it's wrong regardless of what prompts it. But the fact is, are we paying attention to our partner being unhappy so we can do the right things and prevent that cheating from happening? You know, because a lot of people say, oh, they were going to cheat if they're going to cheat. Maybe so, but that's not always the case. And a lot of times, oftentimes, a man or a woman cheats because they kind of feel pushed to, you know what I mean? So we're going to get right into it. All right. So the first sign that your partner is unhappy, this one's tough, especially since we're going out tonight. They're always out with their friends.
Negative. Well, so here's what I would say.
Yeah.
I think that you have to, I think having your own set of friends and the things that you enjoy doing are important, right? Because you have to maintain your own sense of self-identity. You have to have things you enjoy doing or people you have hanging out with that don't include your significant other. And equally said, they should have the same. Like I tell you this, it's interesting because I got a really close friend whose parents do everything together, right? They don't have any other friends. They're each other's friend. And that's cool until one of the motherfuckers messes up or isn't here anymore. Well, my parents, on the other hand, they do things together. They go to church, they go to dinner, they do things like that. But like my mom likes to go to like jazz festivals and reggae festivals, and like she likes to be out. You know, my dad is a much more chill dude. He'd rather be somewhere watching a game, drinking a beer, like more laid back. He don't want to be around, you know, a bunch of people. And so they have their friends that can do that. So, and they've been married for 43, 44 years. So it works for them. And I think that's probably, you know, I think that's probably how it should be. But that's just my opinion.
Do you think though, Gent, that because a relationship has lasted so long, it gets to a point where it's a lot more okay with spending time apart because you know you have each other. You know you're gonna always be there. So there's no need to be up each other's asses, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because you know you're gonna have that time together already.
Yeah, I think there's a healthy balance, and especially if you've been in a relationship for a very long time, that you do, to Dee's point, need to kind of retain your individuality. But the the actual reality is that the relationships that have the true longevity are the ones who are close and best friends. And most of the time, if you out doing things right, and you're out chilling hard, man, you out spending time with your best friend. Like I go out and chill with y'all because y'all are super close friends. You guys are people that I want to spend time with. So imagine the message that you're sending to the woman that you so-called love. If you not really spending time with her, you're basically telling her that, you know what, I'm not as close, or I'm not as much of a priority as your friends, because that same level of desire to be in their presence is not the same. So I mean, playing a little devil's advocate.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's also different too if you know your partner never asks you. You know, you said mentioned D that your mom likes to go to a jazz festival. If every time, if she never invited your dad, I imagine he'd feel some type of way. But if she asked him early in the game many times and the answer is always no, she knows this is going to be something for me and it's not a we thing. And as long as you counteract that singular event, you know, and find something you both can do together, then I think you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Listen, I think both you guys hit it perfectly. I think that you do have to find things you enjoy doing with that person. And I do think that your woman should be like your best friend. You can have your homeboys your best friends too, right? But that's a certain
Yeah.
place because she's with you all the time. She knows your ins and outs, and you fucking her. So that's a whole nother level. So I think you definitely want that. But
That's why she's my best friend for real.
God dang, nigga.
But yeah,
Why we so close? We fucking
stupid. I think men understand what we're talking about. Sometimes
Yeah.
I think women sometimes do not. I remember when I was a kid, when my dad liked playing spades, liked playing dominoes. So he would go and play with some dudes after work. This is the only thing my dad did. He went to work, he worked his ass off on Friday nights for like 3 hours. He would leave at 8. He'd be home by 11:30. I swear to God, right? And he might be having some drinks or, you know, enjoying himself. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And my mom used to give him shit for it. And even as a kid, right? Even as like a 19-year kid, I used to think to myself, why the fuck is she tripping? This nigga don't go nowhere. The 3 hours a week he gets to himself, and she is tripping like he out here causing trouble. So I think, you know, they got to a point. I remember my dad pushing back my mom about that, like basically telling her, look, I do what I'm supposed to as a man. I do what I'm supposed to as a husband. But I get 3-4 hours a week to my fucking self, basically.
Yeah.
And they got to that agreement, and I think it's worked out for them. I mean, that was a long time ago.
You know what the funny thing, D, when you said that, it's so funny that when you give someone all the freedom and the space and you tell them you can have this, that, and the other, they tend not to even desire it as much. But then you go out there and start tripping. Some of these women who go out there and start tripping when their man do the simplest things, and then want to understand how that simple thing now grew into this complex situation where he out all the goddamn time. He ain't coming home till 4 a.m. and you know, it could lead to X and X and X, solely because you had your fucking hand around his throat the whole time when he was doing and requesting the simplest shit. Man, the women who actually let their man do whatever and however, they be the first one when your boys call, they be like, listen, man, I don't know if I can actually do it this week, bruh. I mean, I'm about to go sit down and watch a little Oprah with my baby girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna holler though. You know what I'm saying? It's strange.
Straight up.
People don't watch Oprah anymore, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying though. You
No,
get
no, but it at the end of the day, it just comes down to balance. You have to make time for what's important to you. So you have to be careful to be able to distinguish whether it is that they don't want to spend time with you or whether they're just kicking it with the friends right now. And if your mate is giving you attention, you don't have to worry about them not wanting to be around you. So
For sure.
get out your feelings. The next one is they don't want to talk. And honestly, this should have been the first one. When you're not unhappy, I think everybody knows what this looks like. No, I'm not happy. I don't want to talk, bro. Like, don't say shit to me. You know what I mean? And if you shut down communication and you're done talking, it's safe to say. And you know what I found out, what applies to me, especially, I'm a talkative person. If I don't talk, it hits a lot more versus somebody else who more likely or naturally doesn't talk much. You know what I mean? My dad, for instance, he don't talk much. When that nigga stopped talking, you really wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? But in my case, because I am so talkative, if I stop talking, even if nothing's wrong with me, I should be bombarded with questions like, hey, you okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you know what though? And I think that's the same for all of us, because I think that's a defining characteristic of who you are as a person, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily, I wouldn't say talkative. What I would say is a person who has a stance and opinion on a number of topics. And we say, I say that shit, and I don't say that lightly, because I got homegirls and I got friends, and they'll tell you, dog, a lot of niggas out here cannot hold a conversation.
Oh, yeah,
they don't know enough to have an opinion or perspective on a number of different things. They can talk to you about sports, fucking video games, or fucking, but they can't talk about other things, right? And so I think that is much more noticeable to women, and I think for you in particular, and for all of us, it's also a defining characteristic, which kind of promotes it even more. And so it is glaring as hell when the folks who are used to interacting with us aren't getting that. You know what I mean? So I think you said that perfectly.
I think it's just healthy. I think it's healthy for two people to have conversation if they living together day in, day out. And I mean, that's the only person you borderline is speaking to, even if when you have kids as an adult, that's when you're spending your most time with, so you should be speaking with them the most. It should be noticeable if I stop speaking, even if I'm not the Goliath of all speakers. You know what I'm saying? But man, if you see your man not interacting with you, and that's primarily what the conversation is about, it should send a completely red flare up and screaming SOS. And I don't understand why anyone couldn't see that. You know what I'm saying?
This happens both ends, men and women. For men, it's a lot easier. I'd say a lot harder to determine whether we're mad, maybe, depending on the man. For a woman, I mean, they tend not to hide it at all. And if any man's ever asked a woman, what's wrong? And she says, I'm fine, you're dead in the water, buddy. You're dead in the water. So, it's a lot more noticeable when a woman isn't talking to you, I think, than when a man isn't.
Respect. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay, this one's interesting, and I love this one actually because I love sex. They're decidingly less physical, so they would do anything to not touch you. You know what I mean? Like they're avoiding physical touch because we all know as men, that's our weakness, right? Like, I hate you right now. I'm not fucking with you, but if you rub the dick the right way, you might not be able to tell. So I can't let you touch me and get through. So if I'm really mad and I'm unhappy, you'll find me not wanting to be touched, me not touching you. And that's when you should be nervous, ladies, if a nigga don't want to touch you. Whew.
D, let me tell you, dog, I'm the worst at this. When I be real mad or we have a disagreement in any way, shape, or form, and I'm sleeping beside you in the bed, dog, and you scooting over beside me, dog, I'll be dog. I have one hand on the goddamn floor just so my booty don't touch your booty.
Oh, she trying to put the ass on you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
nobody want that ass.
Yeah. I'm being real spiteful. I'm showing my SOS even if I'm not communicating, because body language is 70% of communication. But so I know I've been guilty of this, and probably unfairly so, but I know I'm guilty of it.
There were times early in the game when, in that situation, Gent, when she put the booty on me, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck the shit out of her and teach her a lesson. But the fact is, that's what she wants you to do. You know what I'm saying? While you fucking her, you choking her, all that shit, rough shit, and she's like,
screaming inside, "I won."
Yeah, in her head, she's like, at least he's touching me. He loves me still. Like,
dumbass nigga.
I know, dog. But I can't. Hey, don't judge him, D. Don't judge him. Now that pussy sometimes, that shit.
That's what listen, I'm one of the dumbass niggas, but that's what they be saying. This
Me too, I know. I done lost that battle a few times.
Simple ass.
I think I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
right?
I like that one, Jet. Simple though. Yeah, we real simple.
I think women know that the toughest thing for a man to do, even when he's upset, is to avoid physical touch.
Yeah,
Right.
it's hard.
And so, but I think that's why it's so important that men have the ability to refrain from that, because I don't think anything sends more of a resounding message than that does, right? Because
I
of our
won't fuck you.
ability to get
Yeah.
into that, right? So, like, I don't necessarily think it's necessarily a factor of like cheating or anything like that, but I think that it's definitely a factor of an unhealthy relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really with somebody and you really fuck with them and you really enjoy being in a relationship with them, then whether you're somebody who likes sex 2-3 times a day or you cool with it 2 or 3 times a week, you should be having physical, intimate kind of connections with them and touch with them regularly, whatever your regular is. And if you're not doing that, then that should be a red flag to anybody who is the person that isn't getting what they need from that relationship.
And I think you're making a good point, D, in regards to if you have a disagreement and you're just trying to show your feathers in regards to like, listen, I'm not cool right now, and you're doing that. That's not a telltale sign that someone's going above and beyond into a different realm where they potentially will cheat. But if you're doing that shit with some level of frequency and it's been months, and she came up to you and said, and I'm a sucker for this every time. Like if we're fighting and she was like, you want your dick sucked, I'd be like, man, whatever. If you gonna do it, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, early in the game you say yes to that, but dog, nothing is
later
more powerful
on,
than when you say no, dog.
Yeah. But to my point, Jeezy, imagine if you're saying no though, and it's 3 months later, then that might be more of a telltale sign that his attention is truly elsewhere.
No. If you say no for 3 months, you already fucked 3 bitches, maybe 2.
Some men, ladies, not all. Not all.
At the least once. D, come on, stop it. 3 months without touching your mate, you fuck somebody. 3 months, D. You live together.
Listen.
How mad am I? What did you do? Slap my mama? God damn.
You can handle yourself.
3 months though, D. God damn.
Dog, if you really want to stay loyal and committed to that woman that you've chosen to spend your time with, then you'll handle it yourself and you won't go out in the streets.
I'll tell you this, if I really want to stay loyal and committed to that woman, I'm gonna fuck her ass within 2 weeks, maybe, because I ain't gonna make it 3 months.
You want the ass, huh?
Nah, I'm straight on that ass. I'll take it every once in a while. Don't take back.
Round of applause for the booty hole.
I just don't like that random ass shit. That's off topic, but don't stick it in my ass. Did you prepare for this? Because it could go south real fast. You know what I'm saying?
Go real dark.
Not unless you had a real ass G. If she's a real ass G, she always ready. You know what I'm saying? She ready for whatever's happening.
Boy, your voice, you got so excited, Jay. God damn, that nigga said he couldn't get the words out. A real ass G, I didn't know they were ass Gs. I didn't know they were.
When they say G, he became exuberant.
Quite exuberant about
absolutely,
that.
Sir. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right.
Your conversations feel awkward and stilted. I hate that part, and a lot of these topics really kind of speak to arguing within a relationship, in my opinion, but obviously that leads to unhappiness as well. But I hate those awkward conversations when you're obviously angry with each other, and then maybe she'll ask you want something to eat. Bitch, talk to me about the shit that matters. I can feed myself. You know what I mean? Like they try to get back in there and you start having those awkward conversations. Maybe y'all talking about the kids and y'all just, you know what I mean, acting like the other shit isn't there.
No, there was a meme that said, very similar situation talking about awkward conversations when after a fight, and one of it is like the man went into his wife and said, "Hey, I just want to know is the refrigerator still in the kitchen?" Just on some random shit, dog.
He just wants some type of interaction. Yeah, some type of interaction.
But it's weird at this point because they walking around it and talking around it, and really, to your point, ain't really solving the issue or addressing the actual issue that's causing the disagreement, right?
I think that all of us are pretty good at this, maybe great at killing that awkwardness and that bad vibe. We've all in our relationships, past, present, like we've always been good at being able to get a hoe out of her head, get a hoe from stop being mad. Like I've always had chicks say, I can't stay mad at you long. That's because I'm not gonna let you hoe. Okay.
Right,
You were right
right,
to be
right,
mad,
right,
but I'm not about to
right.
sit here and let you stay mad. So I think that's really just a trait, almost a skill, the ability to kind of get people back in their right mind.
Agreed.
Oh man, they require an inordinate amount of alone time. Boy, nigga say he want to be alone all the time, 6-7 days out the week. He just doesn't want to be with you. You know what I mean?
Can it be that? Could it be that he feels? I'm gonna advocate for a lot of hardworking dudes out here. I'm playing devil's advocate, right? There's a lot of dudes that are into domestic stuff, and I'm not making a judgment. I'm saying, but they're not gonna cook, clean, not doing this. They're gonna go to work. They're gonna work hard. They're gonna come home. They're gonna sit in that chair. They're gonna drink a beer. They're gonna doze off. The woman's gonna wake them up. They're gonna eat dinner. They're gonna shower. They're gonna go to bed, and they'll be up at 4 the next morning, right?
Yeah.
And so the little bit of time between working, shitting, eating, and getting to and from work, that man said he wants 4 hours to himself. And if that's the scenario, and I think that's a lot of scenarios, I just
4 hours a day. 4 hours a day.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I just remember being kids and going to my friend's house, and like I grew up in the hood, so everybody daddy worked, the ones that was around anyway. Shout out to my dad. He stayed with my mom. They still married.
Appreciate your pops.
Yeah. But for the ones who had dads, so everybody dad had like most of these niggas dads had like working hard blue collar jobs. So them niggas came home, dog, and we'd be like, yo, but my friends would be like, we going here. Don't be making a lot of noise. My daddy wanted quiet. House be dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we walking on eggshells and shit because that nigga, and he deserved it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm playing devil's advocate. I think that can happen sometimes.
I
Our dad was
definitely
like
agree. That was it all the time. And when he worked that late night shift, don't even talk above a whisper that day, nigga, because he's sleeping. You know what I'm saying?
I remember that time you woke him up too. I remember that time you woke him up.
He was upset.
Dog, he's never touched us. He's never hit us.
Right. He never even touched you that day, so shut the fuck up.
I'm just talking,
I was by the door, nigga. I took the L, nigga.
You're the first one to get caught.
He said us.
God damn. Yeah, he said us, nigga. I'm by the door. That nigga came in, he put one finger on my cheek and said, hush your mouth. He walked away, blood trickling right down my face. I said, God damn, he touched me one time. I didn't even feel it. Let me
tell you, the worst part is, you know, when you kids, you make up all this things. Oh my God, half your face gone, dog. Half your face. He took your cheek.
No, D, it was a touch that I could not say was rough, but I was bleeding, nigga. That's all I could tell you, nigga. It was one touch, nigga. I don't know what that nigga did.
Magic finger, that shit is
I don't know what that nigga did. But no, I think alone time is really healthy in a relationship. I actually think alone time can bring you closer to your partner because you go do your own thing, especially if you're with someone who's confident and they have things going on in their own life. And when you come back, you get to share and talk about it. Say, man, my homeboy, he going through a tough time. Yada yada. Oh, I saw this fat booty bitch at the store. You would have loved that hoe. Like you can really. So alone time isn't bad, but if it's every day, if it's any time you get free, you want to be alone and not with them. I do think that person is preparing to break up with you.
Yeah, agreed.
You know
Agreed.
Yeah, he's in deep planning though. I'm talking about all types of he figuring out the apartment.
Oh yeah, he's in phase 2, phase 3.
He already left mentally.
Yeah, mentally he's gone. He's in phase 2, phase 3 of that plan. Oh, he changed his wheel yesterday and shit. And you didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Like goddamn. Yeah. Oh man. All right. So they're picking fights for no reason at all. Man, I feel like this is a lot more of a woman thing than a man. But I do have to be fair and think out loud and say, men probably do this. I don't think that I've ever picked a fight. That's some stupid shit to me. But I do think that I've been so agitated and unhappy that anything you say to me will start a fight. You know what I mean? So maybe that works on along the line.
It feels like I guess that's not picking a fight. You're right.
Yeah, that's not picking it.
Technically, she just asked you how you were doing. What the fuck you mean how I'm doing? I mean, that's
not even that.
How I'm doing?
Yeah, not even that, dog. It's the agitation shit. Like, dog, say I'm eating dinner or eating something and I'm watching the game and that bitch come on the couch and she start talking on the phone. Damn, you just gonna talk on the phone? You know, nigga, I down here. Like, anything agitates you, whereas before, if you're not mad, you know what I mean? You might turn the TV up a little louder, nigga. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But now you hot.
It's true.
You know
I think it depends on, your personality, but also kind of, you seem like kind of what you're saying, because my dad's like super chill. He just was not one from. He definitely didn't let my mother like. There's a line that with a man you can't cross, and I swear all women they know that line with their man because like. There's a couple times where I guess my mom's running because my mom was a firecracker, all this other shit, right? My dad's like, yeah, man, like relax, you know, like why are you screaming? Let's just talk, boom, boom, boom. And she said that one thing, and he fucking stand up, dog, and he might say 5 words to my mom, dog, and the concern in her face is like, man, I really did something I wasn't supposed to do. You know what I mean? but most of the time, like my dad would not engage. So my mom be screaming, dog. My dad he'll go for a walk. My dad just go for a walk, random walk. It don't matter. I grew up in DC. So wintertime, put his coat on. He walked 20, 30 minutes and he come back. And or he'll get in his car and he'll go to a park. And he gets like some fruit and he just sits on the bench. Like that's my dad.
No, your dad got mad emotional intelligence, bro. I'm sorry. High EQ, bro.
Control. Well, no, I don't know about intelligence because we ain't friends because that nigga don't know how to form fucking friendly relationships. But my dad has emotional control, which I think is different.
Control.
You know what I mean?
Impulse control for sure. Yeah.
Definitely good. I don't got that shit. I got whatever the fuck my mom.
Oh yeah. We're our mom's children in a sense.
But if you notice though, what his control is to get away. So often, you know,
that's
you know what it
point,
is.
That's
right.
No, seriously, he knows himself. Cause nigga, if he stay nigga, he ain't leaving it alone, nigga. He cutting some shit up, nigga. He blowing some shit up, nigga. The family ain't gonna be there, nigga. If I stay here, cause you're gonna leave me to say what I'm really feeling, and we have to really accept the reality that how we feel when we're upset may not be logical, and it may not be how we ultimately feel. But then sometimes it really is too.
I think it's genuine, Jeezy. And to your point, I think it may be irrational, and I agree with you on that, but I think it's what the fuck we feel. Because I think what we feel when we're angry is the genuine, true emotions that we have. I think when we're happy and content and satisfied, we're able to control our emotions and manipulate them. And so we show concern for things we really don't give a fuck about. We are nice to people we really don't give a fuck about because that's the social decorum. That's the norm that we've been kind of brought up in. But when you get mad, you don't give a fuck about social norms or decorum. That was somewhere the other day, and I got into it with somebody. My kids was involved, and I was like, "Yo, I don't give some volleyball shit." I said, I got real loud. I said, "You think I give a fuck about these motherfuckers in here?"
Yeah.
Like everybody was like I meant what the fuck I said. Like. No, like I don't know none of these motherfuckers. When I leave here, I know you two though. So this what the fuck gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I swear we the same nigga. I hate when a bitch try to silence me because we in public, so we can't discuss real life shit. Right. So I got to wait till we get home and no one's around. I said, I don't know one person around here, and I give 2 shits if they can hear me. If they can hear you, shut the fuck up. They gonna hear me a lot more if you keep saying that dumb shit. Oh, right. I didn't respond. I hate that shit.
But I will agree with you, D, in regards to it being you'll see the truest form of what you really mean and your intention when you're upset, because they always say like the truest form of character is when you're in the middle of adversity, and so if you're in the middle of really feeling something, you're gonna show that character, and it's gonna be the realer version of the shit that you're gonna
unedited,
do when you're
unfiltered,
and
little titty ass bitch, fuck you little dick ass nigga. That's how.
It's gonna get real. All that shit that you thought, was cool though, D, because they made you feel like it was cool. Like maybe you wore her panties one time, but it just okay. But let's say it was that, okay. And then all of a sudden, the first thing that's gonna come out your mouth.
Let's not say it was that, nigga. How about we don't say it was that?
The first thing that's gonna come out your mouth is gonna be
here wearing
your panty ass wearing motherfucker. I thought we did that in the private pub, of our home and shit.
No, and you can't bash them little titties either, D, or she'll never show them to you again.
Nigga. Yeah. But here's my point. You're right. But my point is though, when you get angry, though, you lose rationality. Some people are able to contain themselves a little bit better. My point is though, regardless of what was said, when he said you little titty ass bitch, and because y'all got in the fight,
he meant that.
Yeah, and when she said you little titty ass nigga, because let me tell you what happens.
She meant that.
Listen. If you got a big dick or you got big titties, that's one thing a nigga that knows or
she never said to you. No bitch has ever said you little dick ass. I wish a hoe would lie to my face.
She'll say you
Exactly.
broke ass, ugly ass,
Yeah.
stupid ass, whatever.
They will go to your deficiency
Real
facts,
quick.
dog.
Real
Facts.
quick, D. That's a
Facts.
good point.
Yeah.
Ever heard that? She meant it.
I've had a homeboy happen to me in college, and my homeboy, he came over, and I was like, what's good, man? He's like, man, me and Candy tripping, man. Dog, Candy showed up 5 minutes later, screaming from the bottom, because I lived on an apartment with stilts, screaming from the bottom of my side. Yeah, nigga, you talking about you don't eat no pussy. You be eating this pussy every damn night. Booty hole and all. And I'm like, God damn, AP, you told me you don't even eat the pussy, nigga. D, I didn't wait or nothing. I got on his ass right there. I said, boy, I thought you said you don't eat pussy. AP, though, what's up, man? So, no, chicks will say it, men will say it, and they will say exactly the truth on how they really feel. In that, when that nigga said you little titty asshole, he knows your titties are little, and he loves you, but he resents that they're as little as they are. And when she say you little dick ass nigga, she knows you're a good provider, you're a good man, but she wishes in her mind, in her heart, that your dick was bigger, bruh. And now you know it. Ignorance is bliss, nigga. It's sweet bliss.
And the worst part, Jeezy, she said it with her chest.
Oh,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
She said it with her chest. Yeah, she said it. Hey, you can't
There
come
may have
back
been
from
some
that.
little itty bitty chest, but she said it with
Dog,
her chest. She said it
honestly,
with what she meant in her heart, dog. Like,
she can never comment on your dick ever again while you in the pussy. She can never say, that dick so big or good. She can't lie to you now, bro. No, she can't lie to you now, bro. Those were good days, bro, but they gone now, nigga. The truth has surfaced, nigga.
Hey, but that's like low key. We got to get back on the tracks. But that's why nigga might have to leave, though.
No, yeah, because there's no way to come back.
It's hard to recover. It's hard to recover.
Yeah, there's no way to come back from that.
It's hard to recover. All right, so the next one is, man, this one is a good one. They're not excited to see you. So look, when I read this, I was like, man, if I come home from work every day, you saw me yesterday, you probably aren't that excited to see me. I mean, shit, you saw me this morning, yada yada. To me, this more is relevant for if I leave town for a couple of days. And I'm not even ashamed to say this has happened to me in my life. You know, shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And nigga to come home from a 3-day trip, D, and nigga walk in the door and it's sitting on the couch, and she like, hey,
for real?
Like, God damn, you can't even. They can't. I'm not expecting you to run when you heard the garage come up, but get up, give a nigga a hug. No, exactly. So, and immediately in that moment was like, well, I guess somebody's mad at me, you know, because sometimes a chick will be mad at you because you're gone living your best life. You know, some chick, you didn't even do nothing wrong. She knew about the trip. You left. You came. You called her every day, but when you get back, she like, oh, this nigga was gone anyway. So she low key, but that not being excited to see. That's why a lot of people love pets. Yeah. That's why a lot of people love kids, especially when they're young. When they get older, they don't give a shit when you come home. But when you're younger, dog, you come home. You're 3-year-old. Oh my God, nigga, it's like you won the lottery. Daddy's home, and nigga, dog. So that lack of excitement when you see someone, I think it speaks to a great deal of unhappiness, in my opinion.
Yeah.
D, think about all, but let's talk about it on the other side. Think about all the men or women that's sitting outside in their garage or driveway, dreading to go in. They not excited to go in and see their partner either. You know what I'm saying? So it could
time, boy. Time when they had the nigga park 2 blocks over playing games in my car.
Hell yeah!
Like
you on TikTok, time, you called the cousin that you ain't talked to in 7 years and shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
nigga check the mail, and the nigga never checked the mail, but nigga just looking for something to do, boy.
Right.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Look, text the kid. You need anything from the store if I get home?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we need you, daddy. Come home, daddy. Like, oh, I don't feel good about that.
Indeed, she think you being sweet. You doing anything to delay the inevitable, dog. Yeah. That's crazy.
This next one is a little difficult to assess because, you know, sometimes people are at work, sometimes people are asleep. They take forever to text back. I saw the memes many a times where someone's like, they get all these texts, fuck you, you ain't shit, nigga, yada, yada. And a nigga just wakes up and be like, man, I was just sleeping for an hour. You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes we got to take that text back thing, you know, a little bit more lightly. And I think in this era right now where everyone's surviving off text messaging, you know, it's pretty big, but that takes forever to text back. I don't know if that's for sure. It could be a sign of happening, right? Because if I'm not feeling a hoe and she texts me, I'm gonna text you back when I'm ready to. You know what I mean? But sometimes it could just be that they're busy. You know what I mean?
I'm bad with I'm not a necessarily like I'm good in spurts. So like if I'm on a text chat and I got my phone in my hand, I'm on a toilet, I'm laying in my bed, and I might be quick with it. And there's other times you gotta remember, dude, like I don't know for all the listeners where I'm from. I'm an 80s baby, right? So I would say I grew up in the late 80s to the 90s, right? In college in the early 2000s. And cell phones weren't like a real mass thing until we was like what, end of high school, beginning of college. Like I pretty much grew up my whole life without having one of these things attached to my hip. So it's not first nature for me to pick. I mean, I'm getting it to the point now, like the rest of us, right? We're adapting, but there's still times where like I'm running to the store, I'm like, nah, I'm not going back in to get my phone. I'm just running like
leave it all the time. Leave it in the car, dog. No 100%. Woman believes that ever. No woman believes that ever.
Oh, that's sad, but you're right. No one actually ever believes that.
And my kids think I'm crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to the store. Like, you left your phone? Like you're gonna be gone for like 30 minutes. What if somebody calls you or texts you?
Facts.
I'm like, it'll be when I get back. Facts. But it boggles their fucking mind. They're like, what is this doing? So my point is that I've been guilty of that. Like, oh, dude, my mama sometimes I'm thinking like, Mom, my dad don't text. Like, I think he got one phone that's still flipped. It's dusty. You know what I'm saying? I talked to him. I talked to that nigga.
Don't do it like
mom,
that.
Right? Yeah. but then my mom texts me or call me, and I'm like, oh, I gotta call her back. It might be the next day. I'm like, I got busy. Boy, my mama sent me text. Oh, you too busy.
They take it personally. Yeah, they take it personally.
You know, I got like kids. I got shit going on. Like, for real. So,
I think to D's point, I think that it really is based off of the precedents that you set too. So, for example, business dude, national kind of footprint job. So I'm always connected and attached to the phone. Like I'm on it, right?
You'd have no excuse. You can't even get away with that one.
So if I'm doing it, it's gonna feel like it's intentional, right? You always buy your phone. Hey, every time I seen you, you always text. So you got to understand the precedence. But if you're one of those individuals that when he or she met you, you knew that man had a delay, like it was, like U.S. Postal Service delay. And you knew that it was going to be that situation. When he doesn't text you back in 2 hours, 3 hours, you can't be mad at that. You knew that was the
set the tone early. You have to set the tone early. I tell this to guys all the time in relationships. Whenever I have a homeboy say he's getting married, I say, bro, set the tone early in the marriage. Do things deliberately so that she knows this is how you move, and that there aren't problems when it's time for you to do things. And one thing I like to do is unplug. I like to turn my phone off and literally don't answer text calls and say, hey, the people who need me know where I am. You have to do these things early so that she knows you're not acting funny or you're acting out of character. So I think that's where a lot of men go wrong, especially they get in that relationship. They want to be there. They want to do all the right things. So now when it's time for them to find themselves again, to make time for themselves, now she's like, hold on, nigga, you ain't never did this.
Well, to your point, Jeezy, or they're inconsistent, right? Meaning this nigga hit his homeboys back real quick. But they can always text the homeboys back, but you don't text me back like that. So yeah, I agree with you, 100%.
All right. This one's good. They no longer talk to you about the future. Boy, you really dead in the water, man. Niggas, when you bring up like, hey, I want to take this trip. You want to go to Mexico next year? And nigga like, next year? They got any flights next week? Because next year, that's not sure it's promised. You know what I mean? So I think if a man hesitates to make plans with you, and I hate saying this because niggas worldwide will be like, damn, dog, you really told them. Like, but yeah, if we hesitate to make plans in the future, it's because your future is not guaranteed. You know what I mean? You
Listen, listen, and I'm glad you said it that way, not guaranteed, because it doesn't mean that he can't see a future with you. Yeah. It just means there are some things currently amiss in your relationship that could hinder that possibility, right? That are mitigating factors. So I like that because, and listen, that's not always a secret or something, right? Like women will do this sometimes, or people will do this. I won't even say women. They know y'all not good, right? Like y'all grade right now, this relationship grade is a D, right? And it needs to get brought up to at least a B. But they'll try to do some shit like, hey, let's go on this cruise. Let's do this, let's do that. Mm-hmm. Some people not with that. Like, if we can't talk in this house, you want us strapped up in a room together for 3-4 days?
Fuck
Like,
that.
think they
Even
do that on
airing it out
purpose.
in front of the other couple, they might not even want that because they know that it's gonna get there.
What other
Like,
couple you talking about?
no, like if you went on, let's say you went on a cruise and it's like a couple's cruise, and it's like you went out with 2-3
Nigga
of your
changing my fact
homeboys.
pattern. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, you see what I'm saying. And then at the end of the day, that man may not be like, listen, I don't want to go out there and fight, and then I'm going to be fighting in front of these people airing out my whole shit either, right?
But
You know
who
what I'm
gives a
saying?
fuck about the other people? I don't want to do that if they not there.
If they're
I'm
not there,
trying
yeah.
to, I'm not trying to go on a trip
That's
with
what we're talking
nobody
about.
if we not 100% solid. Wife,
Facts.
girlfriend, whatever it is. If we not solid, I'm not spending no money on no trip.
Facts.
We're not doing no fucking excursions together. We're not going to dinner on the cruise. I'm not doing none of that shit. I don't want to talk to you here, bitch.
Period.
So we got to be solid.
And women do that shit on purpose. They do that shit where they try to make plans when they know shit ain't right. You know the status of our relationship, ho.
Right.
Don't make me the bad guy. Like, don't ask me rhetorical questions. Do I want to? You know I'm not feeling you right now, so no. Why would I want to go out of the country, spend money, so now when I get over there, you can agitate me, and then it's my fault because I knew you was on some dumb shit. So
Right.
no, I hate that.
And the only reason I was saying the other piece is because think about how many times that there's men who wouldn't go on a solo trip with their significant other, but you add in 2 or 3 couples and they be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Because they need someone to shoulder,
They need a buffer. They need a buffer.
They need that buffer.
And I know a thing or two about a buffer.
Yeah, listen, because to your earlier point, one of the earlier things that Jeezy talked about, your significant other should be your best friend.
Oh, really?
Right? So let me tell you, ladies and men, if this other person, yeah, correct. If this other person, I think like your significant other versus your best homeboy, versus your mom or your siblings are all different like roles, but each of them has a top person, right? And they all kind of make your council. But like the thing is you got to know, so I lost it.
It's all good, bro. What's the next one, G? Or is that the last?
And I got D, you stupid.
I had it on to my tongue, bro. I had some medicine earlier. It's probably messing with me.
One of these, and we're gonna speed over this one. You've been feeling a tad suspicious. For men, if we start feeling suspicious, we out of there. But if a woman been feeling suspicious, you could just propose to a hoe. No, you could propose to a hoe. She suspicious. Damn, why that nigga proposed and made me an honest woman? Like, women tend to feel suspicious about every fucking thing. So I don't even want to get into that shit.
At this point, they all got baggage. That's why I gotta get them young.
I think the main thing is here, and this wraps up everything. We can close out on this one. They're no longer making an effort, and that really covers a lot.
That can be number one, right?
Energy.
And I love the word you said, Jen. Energy, man, you can pick up on that easily. So if the energy is off, you're no longer making an effort. Nothing that person says to you, you will respond well to it. You're going to be you're going to really have a problem with everything. You're not going to try to compromise. You're not going to try to talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to work through anything. Everything is whatever. You know what I mean? When a nigga stop caring altogether and stop making an effort, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
That's what
it is. And the effort even comes to the physical too, because if a man is no longer actively trying to fuck you, like y'all only having sex if you initiate it, man. Mentally, he already fucked another hoe. You know
I agree with you holistically. I mean, I think relationship is all about, filling someone's cup. And at the end of the day, you can, there's people that, fill it. So there's people that fill it in abundance. And then there's some people that do the half full approach. But man, if your cup is empty, that dude is not pouring shit into you, bruh. Like, there is no bigger tell than he is done to you, because that relationship will feel dead. It really will. There's no resurrecting this shit either. So energy.
You just got it. Listen, you just got in. Dog, DMX, RIP, man, said something. I saw this in a TikTok clip, and he was saying, trust people, but trust people to be who they are. Trust the liar to lie, trust the thief to steal, trust the lover to be a lover.
Love that.
Right? So what I would say is, he may be only giving you half a cup, but if he giving you a half a cup of Henny, that's plenty, right? So if what you need from him is Henny, and I'm using this obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Good choice. Good choice.
For sure,
like
for
Henny.
sure. But if you need, but you know what you don't need Henny every damn day, right? But what you do need is a big cup of water. So if it's a nigga over here giving you a tall glass of water every day, he's probably worth more of your time, or she's probably worth more of your time. But it don't mean motherfuckers don't like Henny every once in a while. That's all I'm saying. Brunch with the Boys, baby.
And you know, even to that clip with DMX trusting someone to be who they are, man, like that's not always a good thing, you know. And you said a liar to lie, a thief to steal. A lot of times, if you just know and aware of who that person is, it'll save you so much trauma, so much drama, so much stress. Right. Because nothing they do will surprise you or disappoint you. You'll stay even keeled because you know this is who they are. You know, expect the people who are inconsistent to let you down. They're not a consistent person. So I think if you're quicker to realize and understand people, some of the smartest people to me are good judges of character. And once you figure a person out, then you're good because nothing they do can bother you. And I think that's what, and I think that speaks to your dad, D, and maybe even mine. That they figured out so quickly what's what. This is how she is. This is how the kids are. This is what's what. So I need to adjust accordingly. And now I don't have any stress in my life while they're stressing. You know what I mean? So I think you do have to realize that. But then also, ladies, and this is, be very mindful and pay attention to your man. Sometimes a nigga running the long exit game on you, and shit look good, and it feel like it's all right? Like, he's not all the way great, but he ain't treating you shitty. He's kind of somewhere in the middle. Yeah. He's there right now. you over here feeling like shit sweet, huh? Like every time you start talking about a vacation to Europe in 2 years, that nigga like, man, we really got to focus on today. You know what I'm saying?
Live in the present. Live in the present.
Don't be mistaken. That nigga's making plans for 2 years. All right. He's just not including you.
Let's get our credit cleaned up. Let's pay off some stuff. Look.
Hey,
let's live in the present.
D, were you there when I said it? No, I'm telling you. Nigga start wanting to get his shit right because he don't want it all go right. Like, he got to be straight on the other side. He got to be straight. You know what I'm saying? So be very careful, ladies. And then that's it too. I gotta say this as well. It's not over necessarily, ladies. If you're in a relationship and you sense your man is in that middle ground, that in between state, you can still sway him the other way in your favor. But now is the time. And the longer that you wait, you know, it gets to a point that even if you give him everything, it still won't keep him because he's been waiting so long. He's been checked out so long.
He's no longer in a place to receive it. That's all it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't put the lid over his cup. Okay.
He's waiting so long now that he's gotten it. It doesn't mean anything to him anymore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So be careful, ladies. Be very careful. You making a bed that you're not gonna want to sleep in, but you're gonna be sleeping in that bitch alone.
Stay vigilant.
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, man.
Shout out Brunch with the Boys. We're on all podcast platforms. Check us on Apple. We're on Amazon Music now, Spotify, all the podcast platforms, YouTube presence as well. Check us on our socials. We're on Instagram, Brunch with Boys with a Z. Facebook as well. TikTok, Brunch with the Boys, as well as Twitter, Brunch_Boys. Thank y'all for rocking with us tonight, for sure.
Definitely, man. And, you know, just one last thing, that intuition, boy. You know what I'm saying?
They better stop it with that, though.
That intuition, bro. But can't tell a nigga unhappy. But you know a nigga cheating. You know the goddamn... Come on, man. You know it all. But you can't tell a nigga been unhappy for 12 years. Okay, got it.
We love y'all. We love y'all. Listen, get another to listen.